Okay, so obviously there's still sales going on. This is a few products actually right here that I want you guys to take notice of that I just picked up. I'm going to demonstrate them to you and show you kind of what I plan to use them for. Um, this is NEOLD, and they make Wunderlich and Warble. So Warble is a tape modulator, and Wunderlich is like a mojo machine, or you could say it's compression slash tube saturation. That's the really best way to say it, is tube saturation. 20 bucks each, normally 125 each. So they're 80 something percent off. You can get them here for the same discount um, on Plug-in Boutique. And if you have cash, virtual cash that is, you can use that towards the purchase to get them even cheaper. The next one is Tone Empire. They make a preamp APX-351, and this is really nice. I'm going to click on it and go into it. It's 11 bucks, normally 59. A great grab. It's kind of they call it the Holy Grail tube preamp, and I would say it is definitely one of the most phenomenal emulations I've ever tried for a tube preamp. And the reason why I say that is because it's very transparent in its own way, and yet it does something to the character of the sound. It's very warm, analog feel. So if you want to take that digital harshness and kind of tame it a little bit, in my opinion, this plugin can do that. There is a free trial for all of these that you can try. The no, the NEOLD um, stuff is like 14 days. So feel free to try the demo versions. But while this sale is going on, and it looks like this says to January the 6th, I highly suggest to try to buy it if you like it, right? If you like it and you want it, grab it, because I don't know how long it'll be on sale. Okay, so that part I can't say. And if you're watching this video after January, then you probably missed out on it. This is another one that I was interested in. I'm into saturation because I want to be able to warm the sound up that I'm using, especially when a lot of stuff sounds very digital these days. So this is a tube saturator, but I did not get this one because it wasn't one recommended to me. But they do have samples here you can go and listen to if that helps you. And if not, get the demo and try it out for free. Why not? All right, so I'm going to close that up. We're going to go back to my personal library so you can see the plugins that I got that I'm looking at, which is these. Now, this Moger Fogger um, phaser is free right now, which you can see I got it. If you purchase any of these, you get this for free. So if you want to know a cool Moog phaser, you might as well get it and grab it for free. I don't know how long that lasts. You'll have to, it looks like they say holiday giveaway, so it may be through, I don't know, maybe through January. Who knows? But anyway, that's that. All right, let's get right to it. I'm going to just do a few things so you can hear it. So what I'm going to do is, let's start out with the pianos. Uh, let me turn this off. So we're using the Intimate Grand Piano from Spitfire Audio, one of my favorite pianos that I think I use on almost everything when I'm using just piano. There's presets in here if you're ever wondering about that. They're all right here. Okay. I usually just use the regular Intimate. And then there's, of course, this button here, which allows you to, I believe it's like a reverb thing, but I don't usually turn it on. And then you have your adjustments down here that you can make. There's your reverb too, right there. Not sure. Okay, anyway, keep it pushing. So I'm going to close that out because you don't really need to see that. I have scaler hooked up so I can play some chords really fast and easy. And we're going to take a look at this first one. This is the APX 351. Now, I'm going to turn off that. You'll hear a click when I turn off the Ultra X portion of it. And then this is the power off, but you can also power it off in Ableton right here. So if you don't have Ableton, then you'll be powering it off here to turn it off, okay? So there's no presets. There's a default and that's it. And you have to make your own presets, even though it says presets right here. The types are hard and soft. This is your meter, your in and out trim, your mix, your output, your drive, and then this filters down here to help you shape your sound if you need them. They go from what, 20 hertz all the way up to 2000 hertz on the high pass, and the low pass is 2000 hertz to, I'm sorry, 20,000 hertz to 2000 hertz. So if you need that, I'm just leaving that alone, keeping the trims in the middle. The mix knob, I usually just set it over here somewhere, but you can adjust accordingly. And the drive is here. I'm leaving my type on soft. And I think why this thing is called the Holy Grail is because it's very transparent. So, like, you don't even know it's on, but it's there and it's doing something warm to the sound. It's hard to describe. Now I'm going to turn the Ultra X on. Now I don't have the drive up very far. You can turn it down, but you can see where it goes. So I like it about right there. And then the output, I have it set about right here. You can adjust accordingly for your needs. I think it's the place it on anything and just adjust accordingly, which is why I would term it as the secret plugin. Because it just sits in the mix nicely. It doesn't really affect much. It doesn't really harm anything or mess it up. It just sounds good. Then the warble is a little different. So it's giving you it's giving you the tape emulation, right? So you have a stop, which completely just kills it, fast or slow. If you want the fast, then it's a faster tape thing. But then if you hit the slow, it slows it down. It's really so subtle that I actually like that. I don't want it to be, you can turn it all the way up, but I find the sweep in these knobs to be really nice for a plug-in. Because sometimes you get a plug-in and it's like from here to here, where my mouse is, it's like drastic. I like a slower sweep so that you get more play in the how much of it you're using. You hear the little glitches and mistakes in it. So there's flutter and wow, you can turn it off. Now this EQ is pretty simple. It's a high cut, low cut. So if you want to cut some of the lows out of it, move it up. I usually don't mess with this low high cut because I like my highs to sit. There's a noise and a dirt button. So like no noise at all. From a new tape all the way around to an old tape. It's gonna get warm. A little bit of dirt or a lot of dirt. It's really so subtle, can barely tell until you bring the noise in. But the noise has a great sweep in it, which means that it's not overly bearing, like where it's like, I don't want to hear that. And I like the dirt at 50% and maybe like right there. So it's kind of new, kind of old. I do like the old though. It's very warm. So it's a really cool effect. You have presets that you can save. In other words, that can be one preset. You can copy that preset to another one and make multiple presets and switch between them if you want. So a lot of options maybe if you just want to play around and see what you come up with. The cool thing about the NEOLD plugins is this button right here where their name logo is. Brings this up and it tells you what each thing does for you. So that's super helpful. You can adjust the GUI size and quality. And there's a tape animation thing. That's this right here, by the way, tape animation of it running. So you can sync it with the DAW or just have it always on. I'm going to sync it with the DAW. So that means it will only go when this thing is playing. See it? Okay. So when I stop the DAW, then it stops. That's pretty cool if you just want that off. If you don't care and you just want the tape animation on, just leave it on. Either way, I don't really know. Maybe on a certain computers, having it off runs a little less CPU. So that could be the case. If it drains your CPU, then you probably want to turn it off. But again, what I like is that it's very subtle. Uh-oh, hit my microphone. Sorry about that. So that is APX-351, which I think is really nice. The NEOLD Warble, which is really good. And then there is the NEOLD Wunderlich. I never say it right. I'm sorry. But anyway, the NEOLD Wunderlich. This one is interesting. This is, again, like tube. I think tube emulation, okay? Power button is right here. It's on and off. You can do it here, though, too. You can also in Ableton obviously turn it off from the box down here. So you could have it on and just turn it off here so you don't hear it. There is a level, a mix, and a travel. So the travel is like your age button. Kind of goes from new to old school. Then you have, let's jump over here, the makeup button, the EQ, which is the low and the high. And by the way, same principle. If you forget what something is, click on this button. Controls a shelving filter for cutting, boosting the low frequencies. So it's a low cut, high cut, basically. And then you have a drive, which is a percentage of how much do you want to drive it. I told you guys about the makeup. And then there's a timer, like how it's a slow, medium, or fast combination of attack right on the release. And then you have the thresholds up here. So you have the peak reduction of the incoming signal, and then this one shifts the threshold towards the higher levels and affects the knee and the ratio. And then the status button activates or bypasses the compressor. And then they have a SCF, which adds a sidechain filter to it. So SCF sidechain filter makes sense, right? So we'll leave the compression on. I'll show you this in a second. I'm going to leave everything down to 0. We'll put the high, low at 0. We'll put the drive back at 0. Leave the makeup 0. Level is going to be 0. The mix is 100. And I'll let you hear what these drums sound like without it. And then I'll just start tweaking knobs after I turn it on. So here's the drums without it. All right, now I'm going to turn it on with everything in 0, right, or where it should be. You see how subtle that is? Now I'm going to turn up the drive. Very good sweep on the makeup if you need it. The level is, or bring it back. I'm gonna put it at 0. And then you have the mix. How much of it is gonna play in the mix? There's 50%, 0, dry, or 100. The timer is set 50% in the middle. So let's travel to now. You hear, and versus the old. Personally, if you double click and just put it back at 0, it's fine. I like it as, I mean, at 50%, I like it at 50. So you get a little bit of the old, a little bit of the new. Off, on. Okay. That's pretty much it. What I love about it is that it's very subtle. It's not overly, but you can go and push it there when you want to. And that's the beauty of it, is it gives you a little bit of both. Well, what do you think? Think you're going to grab that NEOLD Wunderlich or perhaps the Warble? If you have stuff that's like it, totally understand. But I'll say that I have stuff that's like it and I like it better. And it's not because it's a new plugin. It's because for me, I want transparency to some degree. And I feel like when I use RC20 and some of those other plugins like that, they are very much in your face. It's super noticeable. You kind of know what you're hearing from it. Like you kind of can tell that it's that you're using the RC20 on it. And it's very hard, in my opinion, to make it sound subtle, but yet add that character. So this is, in my opinion, what these plugins give, and you can get them for pretty cheap, especially right now. Now, would I buy it at full price? Probably not. I'm not that person that would spend that kind of money on it. But if you can get it for like 11 bucks, the APX 351, if you can get this other one for like 20 bucks, I mean, it's a worthy plugin to have in your arsenal to pull out. I will probably be using this on my master chain, which is the plan, to put it down here and have it be at the front. But I'm debating because after hearing the APX 351, I might actually just put the APX 351 on the master chain because it's super, super subtle, and then use the Wunderlich to color drums and other parts. I may actually make myself some more reverb, I mean, not reverb, return tracks, and put those on for different things. I don't know yet. You can do whichever you want. I'm learning, and as I grow and want to add more character and things to certain sounds, these plugins become more vital. And I'm looking only for stuff that really is natural and doesn't do too much additives other than the character or the that I'm looking for within it. So anyway, just wanted to share it with you. Obviously, you don't need any of this to make music. It just adds to your music flavors and character, and gives you something to work within. So take a look at them if you're going to get them on sale. Plugin Boutique or Plugin Alliance for those NEOLD ones. Either one, you'll be fine. You will still have to go through Plugin Alliance if you buy the NEOLD stuff, so just keep that in mind. However, buying it from Plugin Boutique, you can get virtual cash, tokens, and that kind of good stuff, which give you more money off of your next purchases. All right, hope all is well, and I'll see you on the next video.